how to get things done and be more productive. I got inspired to do this show today because, guys, I'm getting in my later 40s, and the thing I look at is all the things I don't like, right, in my life. And I look at in the past, what's held me back, and what have I done about things? What are my dreams and aspirations, and how closer am I now after this year, right? We just had the New Year's in January. How closer am I to achieving those dreams? And it seems like, we always hope that things are going to get better, right? And I look at things should get better. If life is not getting better every other day, every week, every month, and of course every year, we're doing something wrong. The thing I just despise is we take, the old saying, we take one step forward and you have to take 10 steps back. If you're doing that, there's something wrong, right? But we all want to get something done, and it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some discipline. It's going to take some scheduling. Oh, there we go. We just lost everybody probably. You mean work? Yes, I mean work. Well, I am really, really excited about my life and about things I'm doing in my life. And I hope that you are too. I hope that a lot of people I meet, they don't know what they want. They don't know how about going and getting it. And that's what I want to talk today of what I do. And this is kind of like some tips and a blueprint that, it's not going to work for everybody, but it's literally just scheduling. It's getting your life together, looking at what is it that you want. Stop focusing on the negative. Get the negative Nancy's and everybody out of your life, and start figuring out what you want. And start figuring out what's the negatives that you've got in your life where you're getting discouraged, right? Start getting a focus. And then there's a sequence of events of things that need to happen before you can get to where you need to go, right? If you're going to drive your vehicle to, some beautiful destination on your vacation, you might want to check the air on your tires and make sure you don't have a blowout, right? You might want to check the oil. You got to get food. You got to get all these preparations, get a plan, and then get a map. Okay, how do I get there? So I'm going to give you guys my process. I don't know. Let's just go through it. And this is basically from me waking up in the day and how my days, 5 days a week, is planned, right? We'll talk about after on the weekly schedule, right? This is Monday through Friday. Some of you guys may have a different schedule, but 5 days a week if you can choose that. So this is going to be difficult. 5 a.m., that's when I get up. A lot of people probably don't believe, sometimes a little bit earlier. So the reason I get up at 5 a.m. is most of you guys maybe have kids, pets, or some sort of obligations, or a significant other. Sometimes if you get up early, that's the only time you get quiet to yourself. And why would you need quiet to yourself? To gather yourself. So the very first thing that I do when I wake up at 5 a.m. is I do a processed meditation, and I've got breathing. I've spoke about this on my shows before, and I'm guilty. I do not get up and do these things, right? The breathing, athletes like martial artists say that their performance is like 15 to 30% more acute by just doing breathing exercises. So what does that mean? We'll go off the first one. When you wake up in the morning, process and meditation, I'll just wake up, and I'll wiggle my toes and my hands and just kind of rub my, wake up, get my body kind of flowing, and I'll talk to my body, right? I'll sit and figure out what is hurting my body, right? Is there something that's going on with my knee, which I actually have something knocking in there? And I just send some energy towards it, right? Like, hey, look, you are loved. Here's some healing energy. Let's do some creative visualization, some meditation. I guess that's what I mean when I say meditation. Creative visualization of sending the blood cells over to whatever needs repair in your body, and just acknowledging that you have a body, that it's there and that it is cared for, that it is liked, that it is loved, right? You need to love yourself. You can love other people, but you need to love yourself. So practice that, and little maybe mantras if you need to in the morning. I don't really do mantras. Mantras, for those that don't know, is affirmations, things that you can say out loud yourself or whisper, like, I am going to be successful. I'll be independently wealthy. I'm going to be physically fit. I am physically fit. These are things you say to program the subconscious mind to go get into gear. So I'm not... maybe something I'll look into in the future, but I like the creative visualization a lot better. All right, so you could do some meditation, right, where you just, after all that kind of stuff you got, just close your eyes and do some breathing, some block breathing, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, very slow, hold for 4 seconds, and then let out a breath for 4 seconds, and then hold for 4 seconds, and repeat this process. Just breathe. Just get yourself in to this mode where, I mean, a lot of you guys probably think this is insignificant, but notice how shallow you breathe usually it's almost from the throat, where we're just like, and then watch a young little kid, their just bellies just open up, just like a big old balloon, and they're breathing from like just straight down from their whole body just upwards. And I think it's very not healthy. So that's like a 30-minute process. So 5 to 5:30, let's go ahead and lay in bed and do all that kind of stuff there. And then from 5:30 to 6 is when I do shows like this. Unfortunately, in the summertime, is the only time I can do them because of the light out. At 5:30, 6 in the morning, everything's dark. So what I'll do is I'll actually start to do some editing or some paperwork for my business that I run, or I'll do editing on videos for TikTok, Instagram, Reels, and stuff like that. It does take a while for the YouTube videos that we post for this show to actually load up. So sometimes it takes about 4 hours. So I'll load those up at between 5:30 and 6. It's just a couple clicks of the buttons. That way when I get home, it's already set, and then I can publish. So there's many things I could do within that 30 minutes. Hopefully I put my clothes on and don't crap my pants, right? Or vice versa, go to the bathroom and then put your pants on. From after 6 o'clock is when I leave for work. All right. And then I have an arrangement for my kids to be taken care of while they're sleeping. So 6 o'clock I leave to work. And as I'm driving to work, usually it takes around 30 minutes. Sometimes recently I've been working a little further out. So it's about an hour. So within that hour, from 6 to 7, I write. And I use notes and auto dictation on my phone to sit and come up with TikTok videos for my garden. This is all for my garden business, the more the TikTok, Instagram, Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and then maybe just show notes for things like this, where I'll sit down and think to myself, what do people need? What am I interested in talking about? And as I'm driving, you just hit the microphone button and just start speaking and let it all just compile up into this big old paragraph. And then I guess I should finish with that is when I take a lunch break, I can literally, as I'm eating lunch, I could just go in there and kind of edit that up and get that all set up so I'm not editing while driving, right? So I come up with lots of ideas. I used to actually podcast while I was driving, but I figured, and I kind of want to do that again because that's a lot of time lost, in the morning or doing my podcast during lunch hours. Today, I'm actually taking time off my morning before I get started on my job while it's cooler to do my show. This particular show here. So yeah, doing a lot of writing while you're driving. You guys will notice every moment of the days are filled up. Some of you guys, by the time I get done here, you guys are probably going to go, that is crazy. Why do you do this to yourself? And I'm not saying you guys all have to do this, right? But if you get some sort of schedule, kind of watch how I run my business of myself and my day to day. So from 7 to 2 is the only allotment I have to work, because I've got to get back no later than 3:15 to pick up my kids. Sometimes I hit traffic and things like that. So in between that 7 to 2, roughly got about 7 hours worth of work. Now I'll listen to podcasts like the kind that I make, things that I'm interested in. I'm always learning. I'm learning about real estate investing, economics, money, sustainable living, right? Permaculture, all these type of things, 5 days a week. They're in my ears while I'm working. I'm stacking functions. So for a good 7 hours, well, I'd say a good 6 hours a day without my lunch breaks, I'm feeding myself information and educating myself with that free time. I work alone right now, so that is actually very, very helpful. So a lot of people may be working in offices and things like that, and I don't think you can really do that. But I work in construction. I'm alone up on a rooftop most of the days, and this allots me that time to do that. Of course, you guys you could take the examples I'm saying today, like I says, and try to fit it into your life. Maybe take that hour lunch that you got while you're eating, if you're not so busy like me, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a gardener, borderline farmer, right? Take that hour and educate yourself then. Or on your way to work, right? Listen to and on your way home from work. All right, so after 2 o'clock is done, in between my lunches, like I said, I will actually edit some of the scriptures, the things that the text that I write to get my shows organized and things like that. Check emails, make some phone calls for my businesses. And then I got to get my daughter. So while I'm driving 2 to 3:15, guess what I'm doing for that hour to get my kid? I'm writing again. So I'll sit down and imagine, and there's off days too. I don't really stick to the schedule like full blown. Like some days I'm just not into, I can't think of stuff to write down. So what will I do? I'll actually listen to some more podcasts or things like that, or just sit and dream about stuff that I want to do, try to invent something, right? What are some of my problems with my garden business and my farm that I can figure out, and maybe even make a couple phone calls using Bluetooth, get all that kind of, answer clients and stuff like that, but fill that moment in when you're driving. All right, so I pick up my daughter. It's about 3:15. I'm about 15 minutes from the pickup location to the Spin Farm site. That's farming on somebody else's property that I don't own, right? So what I do is I've got myself an iPad, and I got a phone for my daughter, and she's special needs, by the way, too, in case that makes a difference. People might be wondering, why the heck are you doing all this, right? So she'll sit in my truck, which I have a mattress in the back, a little bed for her in the front. She seems to like it. She'll watch her YouTube videos or play games on the iPad. Well, I do from 3:30 to 4 is what I do is I garden. I go in and I weed. I'll mix soils, check irrigation lines, things like that, and then harvest, right? Take some stuff home. And then from that 30 minutes, from 4 to 4:30, I videotape. I make content for my gardening business. I'll take that half hour and just make YouTube shorts and TikTok videos and Instagram reels and things like that, and just take a bunch of footage, and not worrying about editing, right? But I'll just take a whole bunch and I can edit later on. So after that, alarm goes off, and I forgot to mention that my whole entire day is riddled with alarms. It's kind of like, for those of you guys who want to really get stuff done, there's like block timing, right? So you'll do 20 minutes of exercise, right? And then you're going to do 20 minutes of writing, and then you're going to do 20 minutes of meditation, and then 20 minutes of answering your emails, right? You have these little block times that you set a timer on. Whether it's done or not, you just keep bouncing towards the next to keep up things rolling. Granted, some things you got to get done, right, if you're on a phone call or something. But this is how a lot of productive people get things done, is by block timing. So, yeah, set an alarm, and that notifies you. Then you don't have to think. I think when you're seeing how much I have to do every day, it's nice to not have to remember stuff that I know once the alarm, it's all automated, right? My time's up, whatever I'm doing, I'm on the job working, stop, right? There's some things, I'll give you guys a key, which I don't have down here in my notes. What happens is when I got to leave my job, I've got to secure things, right? Tools and stuff like that. So I have an alarm set 15 minutes before I actually have to leave. So that notifies me, hey, if I'm in the middle of something very strenuous or something that needs to get done, you only have this time to finish it up before you got to go, right? And then keep working until it's absolutely that alarm clock, that time, bam, the time goes off, everything's been shut off, everything's been put away, stay productive until that last second, then get in your vehicle and drive away. All right, so we leave the farm at 4:30, and we're only 15 minutes from my house, so we get home about 4:45. So in between 4:45 and 5:45, this is the time right when I get home. If I have a video downloaded from in the morning to YouTube, I'll go ahead and publish it, and I'll immediately get a download started again. Normally, by the time I do this, right when I get home, by after dinner and showers and everything, the video's ready to go, around 8 o'clock at night, and I can publish that one as well, and then start another one, right? This is a repetitious thing. So, yeah, from 5:45, we download videos, and then that only takes me a minute, and then I'll go and I'll cook dinner. Again, I'm a single dad with my 2 kids. I'll cook dinner. Immediately after dinner, I'll go shower. And I mean, I've got this down. It does not, sometimes if I veer off from the scheduling, it kind of screws everything up. So then what I'll do is I'll take a shower, and then I've got in here, after the shower, I get out, I'll take my supplements, and I'll give my kids their supplements, and I'll eat. I've got kimchi down here is one of my favorite things to eat as far as for flora of the gut, right? I try to have a teaspoon a day of some sort of probiotic, some sort of fermented foods, whether it's kombucha, kimchi or whatnot. So that's like a thing, and it's kind of important because I want you guys to think of this kimchi like I'm talking about here. Why I have it down on my notes. You would look and be like, Kim, really? Yes, you have to remind yourself. And these are very healthy habits to have. There's a lot of things that I think of that I should do, and I forget about them. And unless it's written down and you get a regimented list, an appointment, a schedule, and stick with it, you forget. And it's been months since I've been eating my fermented foods, right? By taking my probiotics. So I think it's something very healthy and very important to take care of my health and to keep these things up. So yeah, as things come up, I write them down, each individual item. All right, so dinner's done, right? It's this at this point we're somewhere around, 5:45. We've eaten and everything. I washed dishes, so it takes me up to about 6 o'clock, and I don't want to be the dad. From this point, you guys have seen, wow, this guy is a workaholic, right? And when the alarm goes off at 6 o'clock, it's time to spend time with my special needs younger daughter. And what does that mean? That means reading books, maybe just talking, maybe doing steamroll. We had steamrolls when I grab her and I roll her in my torso, and we roll across the carpet, across the room a couple times, screaming steamroll. We'll play rubber duckies or Barbies, or yes, I'm a man and I play Barbies with my kid. I don't care. But she enjoys all this. Or we'll get magazines and we'll scribble in the magazines. We'll trace stuff with markers. And we'll circle stuff like in magazines that sell stuff like, Costco, JCPenney, all these different things. I get magazines from all my friends that, they read them and throw them away. And really good to do art and stuff like that. So from 6 to 6:30, it's me and my youngest daughter's time. And then from 6:30 to 7, after 6:30, alarm goes off again. If my oldest is around, 15-year-old, I'll try to do some drawing and talking and things like that to, hang out, spend some time with my kids, at least 30 minutes a day. Sometimes we go a little bit longer. So once the alarm goes off at 7, though, that's pretty much my allotment most of the time. Getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning is not easy. So from 7 on forward, we brush teeth at that moment. And I get the kids all ready for bed, jammies and all that kind of stuff. And then from 7 to 9, while the kids are off watching little shows, playing games, or doing whatever they're doing, playing, I'll go and I'll actually publish that video that I left after dinner, right before dinner. And I'll do some editing on some videos for TikTok, Instagram, my garden stuff. I'll organize podcasts, whatever I can within that 2 hours to get everything done. Now, teeth are brushed, everybody's dressed. So when that alarm clock hits the 9, I put my kids to bed and I put myself to bed. We got 9 to 5. That's hopefully 8 hours of bedtime. And I do this pretty much Monday through Friday. Now, some of you guys may say that this is a lot, that this is crazy. And again, what I want you guys to ask yourself is how far have you gotten towards your goals? If you've made it this far and I haven't bored you to death, I bet you all this talk, a lot of people have already dropped out, are like, this is crazy, this is stupid, But I want you to ask yourself, that's why I opened up, how long is it going to take you to get what you want? How long? What are you doing about it? And that's the one thing that just makes me sick to my stomach, is listening to people and watching them, and they're not doing anything. Really, they're just complaining and talking about events and people, and not talking about discussing ideas and implementations of ideas and things and making things happen. And it all starts with us. So it doesn't mean that we have to work. I think this is like a 14-hour day. It's pretty crazy, 5 days a week, right? But it doesn't mean you have to do this for the rest of your life. But if you're in your 20s, or if you're in your 30s, or you're in your later 40s like me, the older and older you get, the more you have to do to get out, because there's more responsibilities. If I didn't have kids, wow, that would be big. I don't have a pet anymore. I've talked about this before. That takes at least an hour of my day, just the maintenance, the walking and stuff like that. Not even cuddling and petting and talking to each other, and So all of this takes a lot of time, and if we're going to get somewhere in life, we're going to have to come up with a schedule and stick with it. That's what I see as I fell off the map, right? The turnip truck. I lost my view. I didn't never lost my ambition, but I just lost my way about things. And as soon as I start to not do one thing, it affects the other. And then you're like, you know what? I don't deserve to work this hard, but I deserve to just work, do nothing. I deserve to sit here and watch my life go nowhere. I refuse. I get motivated. I keep my eye on the prize. And I know that one day, one of these things, these podcasts maybe that I do, these garden videos, the garden business, the food that I eat, is one of the more and more experience I get, that hopefully one or a couple of these things will work out where I can actually transition into doing something where I can stay home with my children and better my life. Now, so to bring that home, guys, you have to have a schedule. Now, do I do this on Saturday? No. I'll take one day off a week. There is no alarm. I wake up when I wake up. Unfortunately, I'm like a robot. I still wake up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, but I have no problem going right back to bed. So Saturday is barbecue Saturday. I eat very simple, live below my means during the whole week. No sodas, no drinks, just water. And So on Saturday, it's wine, it's beers, it's drinks, it's tri-tip, it's smoked hamburgers, it's whatever the heck I want. A nice hot breakfast, right? Because I drink cold breakfasts every morning. And that's just the day to relax. And then Sunday, if you guys notice in the schedule, there's no laundry, there's no lawn mowing, there's no, other things that need to get done. So that's chore day. Once a week, set up things where the chores are getting done, right? Where laundry, the lawn, sweeping floors, cleaning mirrors, taking out garbage, things like that, vacuuming the house, all those type of things. And if I get done early enough, what I will do is sometimes go work for a couple hours in the garden or something like that. Or I'll just take that time and kind of spend time with my kids for a little while. My favorite thing to do on Sunday, well, it's not my favorite thing, like I love to do this. I'll go and work on something like editing videos or on the garden, the farm, food production, till about, just for like 2 hours, just to get myself that much more bumped up and ahead. After that's all done, I like to end the evening around 3, 4 o'clock, mainly somewhere around 4. I live very simple, so it only takes me about 4 hours to get chores done, maybe even 3. But spend that time with my kids again that evening, and maybe with myself. I'll go in my jacuzzi and just chill out, end the evening, maybe with a beer or two or a glass of wine, and hanging out with my kids, and then just get an early night's rest just to get your batteries recharged, and then hit that Monday through Friday like nobody's business when it starts all over again. So guys, that's the show. I really think that, to bring all of this home and sum it up, I know it's a lot of work, but looking at my life, that's what inspired me is I'm doing a lot. I have been doing a lot, but I know I could do more. And I really, really want to progress in life. And I know that without putting extra work, without organizing, I think this whole schedule thing, without a regimented schedule, things will fall apart. And it's just more stuff you have to remember. Just treat your life like a business, right? A business doesn't want to fail. If a business doesn't make money, if a business is not successful, if they don't take care of their inventory, right? Well, I'm not a business. Yes, you are. You're a social security number. You get paid amount of money. You trade your time for dollars, or you trade your skill for dollars, whichever one you are, entrepreneur 9 to 5. But you also go buy goods, right? You buy canned foods, meats, vegetables, and things like that. This is inventory. Look what's happening. You're out working to have a place to sleep. You spend more time at work than you do even in your own home. And you have all this stuff that's rotting, and you're losing money, losing time, losing health, sleep, and stress, and things like that if you don't manage these things. So I always say, treat your life like a business and get things organized. Get a regiment, and what's the word I'm looking at? Get repetitious. You have to be stringent on yourself. I can't think of the word right now. I don't know why. Just basically getting a routine and getting the motivation to do things for yourself. Get it organized and start living that better life. Guys, that's the show. I'm rambling on. I got to get to work anyways. I'll talk to you later.